Have you ever been out in public, maybe at a coffee shop or just walking through a park and you see one of those couples? You know the ones. They're laughing, holding hands, and actually look like they enjoy being in the same zip code. For the longest time, my first thought was, okay, they're definitely aliens. Like, they've been sent to Earth to study human mating rituals and are just acing the final exam. They're probably communicating telepathically about how much they love each other while the rest of us are still trying to figure out who's supposed to take out the recycling. They just seem too happy. It's suspicious, right? But here's the plot twist that even M. Night Shyamalan didn't see coming. They're not aliens. I know, I was shocked too. Their secret isn't some intergalactic love potion or a government-issued happiness manual. It's actually a set of simple, learnable habits that anyone can build into their daily life. It's less about grand, movie-style romantic gestures, and more about the small, consistent things that build a real, solid connection. There's no magic, just a little bit of intentional effort. So if you're ready to decode what makes these relationships tick, you're in the right place. Go grab your emotional toolkit, and by that I mean your favorite snack and maybe a notebook, because we're about to get real. Today we're diving into the 4 habits of successful relationships, and I promise, no therapy degree is required. We're going to break down the practical stuff that actually works, so you can build a connection that feels less like a chore, and more like you've found your favorite person on the planet. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, let's talk about talking. And I don't mean the, hey, did you remember to buy milk, or whose turn is it to walk the dog? Kind of talk, that's logistics, that's roommate talk. I'm talking about the deep dive, get to the heart of it conversation. Successful couples don't just coordinate schedules, they connect on an emotional level. They make space to share their feelings, their weird dreams from last night, their fears about that big work project, and their hopes for the future. It's about creating a safe space where being vulnerable isn't scary, it's just normal. Let me give you a real-world example. Let's say your partner, we'll call them Jamie, seems a little distant. The surface-level move is to either ignore it or get annoyed. But the successful relationship move, you gently bring it up. You don't accuse, you just observe. You say something like, hey, I feel like we haven't spent much quality time together lately and I miss you. Is everything okay? This isn't an attack, it's an invitation. You're opening a door for them to walk through and share what's on their mind instead of building a wall. Now the other half of this is how you respond when your partner opens that door. If Jamie says, yeah, I've just been really stressed with work, the conversation could die right there. But a connected partner digs a little deeper. You respond with empathy, not a solution. Instead of saying, well, just quit your job, you say, I'm so sorry to hear that. What's been the most stressful part about it? You're showing that you're not just trying to fix their problem. You're trying to understand their world. You're sitting with them in their stress, not just trying to usher them out of it. This kind of communication is a muscle. It feels weird and clunky at first, especially if you're used to keeping things light. You might feel like you're being nosy or overly dramatic, but pushing past that discomfort is where the magic happens. It's how you go from knowing about your partner to truly knowing them. You learn their triggers, their joys, and the little things that make their heart sing or sink. It's a constant process of discovery, not a one-time interview. So the habit here is to consciously carve out time for these conversations. Maybe it's over dinner with no phones allowed, maybe it's during a walk in the evening. The point is to move beyond the daily grind and ask questions that matter. Ask what was the best part of your day, or what's something you're excited about this week. These small prompts can lead to big conversations, building a foundation of understanding and intimacy that can weather any storm. It's about being genuinely interested in the person you're with. Let's get one thing straight. Every single couple fights. If someone tells you they and their partner never argue, they are either lying or they are those aliens I mentioned earlier. Disagreements are not a sign that your relationship is failing. They're a sign that you're two different human beings with your own thoughts, feelings, and opinions. The difference between a healthy couple and an unhealthy one isn't the absence of conflict, it's how they handle it. They fight, but they fight fair. There are rules of engagement, even when you're mad. So, what does an unfair fight look like? Let's use the classic relationship testing scenario. The trash hasn't been taken out. An unhealthy fight starts with blame and escalates into personal attacks. It sounds like you never take out the trash. You're so lazy and you don't care about me or this house. Notice the keywords, never, lazy. You're not talking about the trash anymore, you're attacking their character. This approach immediately puts your partner on the defensive, and now you're not a team solving a problem. You're two opponents in a boxing ring trying to score points. A fair fight, on the other hand, focuses on the issue and your feelings, not on your partner's flaws. Using the same trash scenario, a healthy approach sounds like this. Hey, when I see the trash overflowing, I feel really stressed and overwhelmed because it feels like another thing on my to-do list. Can we figure out a better system for this? See the difference? You're using I statements. I feel stressed, I feel overwhelmed. You're stating a need, not making an accusation. You're inviting your partner to be your teammate in finding a solution. This is where the concept of fighting for the relationship comes in. The goal of an argument shouldn't be to win. It shouldn't be to prove you're right and they're wrong. The goal is to understand each other's perspective and find a resolution that works for both of you. It means no name-calling, no dredging up unrelated arguments from 5 years ago. This is just like that time you forgot my cousin's birthday. And absolutely no threats of ending the relationship. Those are low blows, and they erode trust. Learning to fight fair means sometimes you have to take a time out. If you feel yourself getting too heated, it is perfectly okay to say, I'm too angry to talk about this productively right now. I need 20 minutes to cool down and then we can come back to it. This isn't avoidance, it's emotional regulation. It's a sign of maturity. It shows that you care more about resolving the conflict respectfully than you do about winning the argument in the heat of the moment. Healthy couples know that their connection is more important than their ego. We live in a world that, honestly, just glorifies grand romantic gestures. The surprise trip to Paris, the flash mob proposal, or, the car with a giant red bow on it. And while those things are great for a movie montage, they're definitely not what sustain a relationship day in and day out. The real secret sauce, the glue that holds everything together, is found in the little things. Successful couples are total masters of the small, consistent, and intentional gesture. They get that love is shown not just in big declarations, but in tiny, everyday actions. Think about it for a second. What feels better on a random Tuesday? A generic, I love you text, or a text that says, hey, I know you have that stressful meeting today, thinking of you and cheering you on. I picked up your favorite snack for when you get home. The second one just hits different, right? It shows that you're not just going through the motions. You are actually paying attention to their life. You're thinking about them, their struggles and their joys. These small acts are like deposits into the relationship's emotional bank account. And hey, these gestures don't have to be complicated or expensive. It's really about thoughtfulness. It's leaving a little note on the bathroom mirror before you leave for work. It's making them a cup of coffee exactly how they like it without them even having to ask. It's sending them a funny meme they'll love. It's saving them the last, best bite of dessert, or intentionally giving them the bigger slice of pizza because it's their favorite. It's those micro kindnesses that say, I see you, I value you, and I'm on your team. The key word here is on purpose. It's about being intentional. It's so easy to get complacent in a long-term relationship. You fall into routines and the little efforts can be the first thing to go. Happy couples actively fight against that complacency. They make a conscious choice every day to show their appreciation. They don't just assume their partner knows they're loved, they make sure they loved. This builds a powerful foundation of trust and security. When you consistently show up for your partner in these small ways, you're building a buffer of goodwill. So when the big stressful life stuff inevitably happens, a job loss, a family crisis, a leaky roof, you have a deep well of positive connection to draw from. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from a place of, this person has my back, even in the small moments, so I know they'll have my back now. Never underestimate the power of a small, thoughtful act. It's honestly the language of lasting love. When you first start dating someone, you're like a detective. You want to know everything. What's their favorite movie? What was their most embarrassing childhood moment? What are their biggest dreams? You're endlessly curious because they are a fascinating new mystery to solve. But after years together, it's easy to think you have them all figured out. You know their coffee order, their political views, their go-to karaoke song. You think the mystery is solved, and that, right there, is a danger zone. People are not static. We are constantly evolving, growing, and changing. The person you're with today is not the exact same person you met 5 or 10 years ago. They have new thoughts, new experiences, new fears, and new passions. Successful couples totally understand this. They make a deliberate effort to stay curious about each other. They don't assume they know everything. They keep asking questions, not as some kind of interrogation, but as a genuine expression of interest in the person their partner is becoming. This doesn't mean you have to have deep, philosophical conversations every night. Sometimes, curiosity is playful. You can use silly question games. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? What's a weird food combination you secretly love? These lighthearted questions can spark laughter and reveal new, fun things about each other. It keeps the dynamic fresh and reminds you that there are always new layers to discover. It's about rediscovering the person you're sleeping next to every night. More seriously, it's also about being a student of your partner's growth. Pay attention when they get excited about a new hobby or a new book. Ask them about it. What do you love so much about gardening? Or, what was your biggest takeaway from that documentary you watched? When you show interest in their interests, even if it's something you don't personally care about, you are showing that you care about. You are validating their journey and supporting their individual growth, which is honestly essential for a healthy partnership. Ultimately, staying curious is a mindset. It's a commitment to seeing your partner as an ever-unfolding story, not a book you've already finished. It prevents you from taking them for granted and keeps the spark of discovery alive. When you stop being curious, you start making assumptions, and that's when distance can creep in. So ask a new question today. Be interested. Be surprised. The person you love is still full of secrets and wonders, and the greatest gift you can give them is your continued, enthusiastic curiosity. So there you have it. The big, not-so-secret secret is that successful relationships aren't something you just magically find like a winning lottery ticket. They are built, brick by brick, day by day, through small, intentional habits. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. It's choosing to show up for your person, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, and even when they've left their socks on the floor for the millionth time. It's about remembering you're on the same team. You don't have to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Just start small. This week, try asking a real question instead of just, "How was your day?" The next time you feel an argument brewing, take a breath and try to fight fair. Do one small, thoughtful thing for them just because. Stay curious. These aren't grand gestures, they are the quiet, consistent actions that build a love that can truly last a lifetime. It's a practice, not a performance. At the end of the day, the real secret to love is probably just talking honestly, sharing your pizza fairly, and agreeing not to bring up that thing that happened in 2017 during an argument about the dishwasher. It's simpler than we think. So, what are some of the habits that work in your relationship? I genuinely want to know. Drop them in the comments below. Let's all learn from each other. And of course, if you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk about love and connection. See you next time!